Juan, what up, what up, what up? What's up? You know what it is, man. It's Earl, James, you did. So yeah, I done made it to my receiver here in Dallas. So it was a little quick load, man. Picked up in Houston, delivered right here in Dallas. A little short drop. Wasn't too serious. And I know I could have added this part in the video as well, but I decided to go ahead and end that first video, include this into the new video. It look like this is a little location that a lot of NASCAR drivers frequent. Come on with it now. Y'all should be a little bit more organized than this here. I got a real certified retired street dude waiting at the entrance, and I get to feel like punching. All right,
You can pull up, sir.
pull up.
Yep, when you come out, just stop back by to do your exit.
What this tell me right here for the what is this? What is this? Tell me for the just go to a door or whatever.
Basically, you're going to go in,
Uh huh.
and then you'll go to the receiving door, give them the paperwork.
Okay, all right, thank you. Come on with it, but you gotta let me know what's happening. Gave me paperwork like I've been here before. You heard? Got some pretty eyes, but, pretty eyes tell lies. I was sitting doing a bunch of non-recording. I'm thinking, I'm recording. It ain't recording. Trying to do one of those, walking into the. We gonna get it together. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get it together, y'all. Like, check this out. Like I said, I'm one of those. I'm old school, man. See, that's what it is. I know in a lot of my previous videos, it sounded like I was complaining and become crying and complaining and stuff like that. But what it is. See, I'm old school. See, a lot of guys, people from my era. You know what I'm saying? We really wasn't the real camera type. Like it was always, camera. All this real excess camera and all that stuff. All this stuff is new. Back in the day, it was a real flex to not get caught on camera. You know what I'm saying? So now when you're in the era where, everything is on camera, a lot of people who really never was real camera people, it's gonna be a little. It's not natural. It's like something that, what I'm saying, like that's the reason why back in the days, but like in the rap industry and things like that, they had such things called artist development. And particularly the reason why they really had it, because they knew that most urban kids, most people from out the hood, out the jungles, don't know how to act, don't know how to carry yourself, don't know how to talk, don't know how to look, don't know how to just behave. It's just real foreign to be, you know what I mean? So these days, so I was kind of like, I wanted to kind of be like one of the truck drivers or one of the people that was just kind of under the radar a little bit and still kind of sit back and just watch everybody else. You feel me? But then I realized at some point that, it just don't really work like that. You got a lot of stuff going on out here in the world, a lot of things going on. So it's like, at some point, the real got to just, got to stand up, you know what I mean? And let it be known it is what it is. So, I come in? You can't just have issues and just, you can't even say stuff people like talk about for real. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't really no, you can't even really tell a person, hey man, I don't like the way you know, without it being deemed a threat or without you being, you know, just all kind of weird stuff going on. So people able to, other people able to, you know, do stuff to you and treat you all kind of funny ways and get away with it, you know, people that never would have really played with you like that, you know what I'm saying, 20 years ago. So, you know, you got a lot of kids out here right now, they don't even know what I'm talking about. To them, it's just like, you know, whatever, like, but all this, for them, is new. You know, so, you can tell by the way, you know, the way they talk, the way they on the video, they happy, they excited, tenderness, like that ain't really what I want to be doing, but kind of got to right now. Kind of got being forced to really. I ain't gonna slap you. I ain't gonna slap you for here. They gonna just get it off. How they gonna get it off? Get all of the. Slide. Just take it off like this. It's pretty much a new trailer, so that's how it be, man. Sometimes even you get one of these drivers out here complaining about the old truck. Right now, Boosie Badass, Kevin Gates, and NBA Young. Boosie Badass, one of my cousins, you know, they thick. You know, Boosie know a bunch of my people. Like, one of my cousins just got out of the Fed, just did 10 years. You know, Boosie started them out on social media. You know, I was saying, well, what up, G Black? If you on rap, you come back. That's my first cousin, blood first cousin. So a lot of other guys, and I just never personally met him myself, but a lot of other my family members, he real cool with. You know, really know. So Kevin Gates in the same stomping ground, same areas, Southside, Baton Rouge, where I come up in, same area. So everybody know each other. Me and a young boy, when my daddy got out of jail, he moved us to North Baton Rouge, up there right off of 38th Street. I went to Struma High, went to Winburn Elementary, that's on Winburn, Prescott Middle School, and then Struma High. That's like literally, me and your young boy, walk out of these houses, off, and walk off the street we on there at Struma. So say that to just say that in the hood, in those areas where we grew up in, the same stuff that boosting them and gassing them and all this kind of stuff for is, it's the same thing. I'm known for the same stuff, so the same experiences. Grew up in the same hood, ain't no suburban nothing. The same block, same corner, the same experience, everything that you hear, the same attitude, the same ways. Heck, got caught up in some stuff myself at some point in life, so the same stuff. It ain't nothing, and we dealt with stuff a certain kind of way. It was understood that certain things, it was going to get addressed a certain way. You have an issue with somebody, that's how we're going to do. This is the way you deal with it. But today, you got a lot of people where it's like, everything is just in your face and just kind of right there, just, you can't even really, express yourself and just, usually you better tell somebody, hey man, you keep playing, I'm a blah, 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 blah. That's a charge now, you know what I mean? You threaten somebody for, you know what I mean? So it's like, you just all kind of, everything is just like, the ghetto Me Too. Like, it's just, everybody wants something. Everybody trying to scheme, scam, come up on you and stuff like that. So there's a reason why, my videos, it may sound like some of my videos, it may sound like I'm complaining or whining about stuff, but it really ain't that. It just really, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about what it is, who I am right now. I'm passionate about what I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm passionate about me. I love me to the moon and back. So it's like, if something happened to me and I don't feel like I can really deal with it the way I'm accustomed, I'm used to dealing with it, it hurts because it ain't number one or two alternative. You're going to the penitentiary, or you're going to lose everything that you worked for if you crash out. So either way, it's a lose-lose situation. It's one of those, trying to, getting tricked out your position type situations. You know what I mean? You can't really, nothing you can really, the only way you can really beat certain people in these days and time, man, is with the pen. And I think in the Bible it says something like, the pen is mightier than a sword. So it's just kind of like, that's just what it is right now. It's just kind of like, I was thinking about turning my camera on, but I'm gonna just continue to talk like this. Man. It ain't really about that. The pen is mightier than a sword. You heard me? So from 2016 to now, we've been straight driving. You heard me? So a lot of phone calls just now. The phone probably hung up again, probably not recording again. I don't know. It's just one of those situations. You heard me? Everything seemed to be when we're trying to do stuff just seemed to try to stop it, but. So yeah, so when I came back out here, ever since then, when I came into the real world, basically when I was as like a company driver from 2016, I came out with US Express. Back then I was making 28 cents a mile. 2016, I was making 28 cents a mile. And that was teaming. That was me, and they wanted you to team with somebody first. So me and this guy I'm out of Baton Rouge had this white guy out of Monroe, James. Shout out to him. We teamed for 2 months, making 28 cents a mile. I can't even remember if that was split. I don't even remember. I don't know if we were splitting it, but I hope not. I don't think so. I think we was like splitting like 56 cents a mile or something. So it was like, we was getting like 28 cents a piece. But anyway, once we went, after the 2 months and we went solo, able to go solo now, I think I was making like 36 cents a mile. Went up to like 36 cents. I ran up a little bag, like doing some runs from like out of Chalmette, Louisiana, up to Knoxville, Tennessee, and back. The coffee plants, warehouse to warehouse. Community coffee, back and forth. But anyway, and then kind of, it's been a little, it's been from there to like First Fleet for like a couple years. Had like 2 stints at First Fleet. Little companies here, little companies there. Eventually, it worked my way up to where I was like, with the social media boom, I started to see a lot of the owner operators It really was like Prime. Prime was really the one that kind of made me want to get my own truck. That in the case that and the fact that with every company job I had, they always gave me crappy trucks. Like I always got, crappy trucks. They were decent, but they really wasn't, the best. So when I started to see like a lot of these Prime drivers go to school, get their CDL license, and then go immediately into a truck, and they real with this young lady named Slime Pack. Like I used to like her video because of the car she used to drive, and I used to be, used to be sitting there trying to, used to focus on it for that reason, because I was like, man, I got an old Charger right now, an 06 Charger, Dodge Charger RT. So I used to be watching her videos or whatever, just trying to convince myself that I need to go ahead and upgrade and get me one of the new Chargers or whatever, go get a car note. But then I started to notice her, like in her video, where she was like training with this guy or whatever, and they was going places like going to, California, and out there walking around, going to like New York, Times Square, walking around, and I'm looking, and I'm just like, dang, and the guy that was training her, he was like a lease operator. So, and then when I saw her video of her experiences going to get her truck, and I was just like, man, hold up, like, so they got people that just basically, they ain't really been driving long, and they doing this, and kind of like with Prime Success Leasing, they helping them drivers kind of get their stuff, get the ball rolling. So I'm like, man, a lot of these people don't really look like they have a background in like trucking or being a boss, being an LLC 1099. They just kind of like almost kind of winging it a little bit. So I'm like, well, I got the experience of driving a truck already, so all I got to really do is learn the business side of it. So that's really what made me go ahead and decide, I want to get my own truck. Because I wanted to do that. I wanted to be able to go to California or something, and go out there and walk around. I wanted to be able to go to New York and go to California and and experience the Hollywood stars or whatever, Walk of Fame or whatever the case may be, Walk of Shame for some of them now. You know what I mean? And be able to experience Times Square and those just stuff like that. But anyway. So when I came out of here, kind of like and became like a owner operator, that's when I kind of started noticing things that I had never noticed before. Again, like when I was a company driver, I rarely had breakdowns. Like rarely, like all the years I've been driving, I rarely had breakdowns. It was most, just whatever. Even though the trucks weren't the best trucks, I rarely had like breakdowns. Like, it was like, we would go in for like your regular maintenance or something might pop up on the truck or whatever here or there. But out of the 10 years I had been driving before I got my own truck, I can honestly say I may have had like 2 breakdowns. Like 2 where it was like the truck had to get towed or something, or it was kind of a situation where, it was derating or something like that on the side of the road, or, it was something like, man, let's say 3 max in 10 years. So it wasn't until I got my truck, when I went to the dealership, international dealership, and bought my truck, I put 11 cash down on the truck, 11,000 cash out of my pocket. Went to the bank, pulled the money out, got, wired it to my business account. And that's another story, trying to get out my personal account and wire it to my business account. They separate banks, so for the wire to then go to international. So I'm doing all this on my own, my heart out there working, grinding, saving for it. When I got my truck, it's like, bro, everything that I had, stuff like I said that I never had ever experienced in other trucks before, was going wrong with this truck. Within a year, like I've had this truck since March of last year. I got it like in January of last year. I already told that story where it was kind of like, I was, whatever, letting it sit at the dealership until I was trying to get on board with Landstar. So they said that from like January, February, and then late in February is when I finally got it. But I was just like, things that I had, like, just opening the door, like opening the driver door to get out the truck was the issue. The cables broke, the door was stuck. Got the cable, like I say, fixed. It still wouldn't open. They finally had to go in the door and put a whole new door latch. Stuff just as simple as that. Like, the engine belt popping and just the AC don't want to work, and in front of the truck, the back of the truck, just on and on and on, things, just wild, mad things. Like I was just kind of like, it almost seemed like I was, it just seemed real witchcrafty, real voodoo-ish. Like it was just didn't. It just like it couldn't be. Like this can't be. You know what I'm saying? And then and in my mind, it was kind of like I would have respected it more if I had bought the truck from like a personal seller, like somebody just had it, on Facebook Market or something. But when I went to a dealership and they have this long list of inspections and things that these trucks are supposed to go through, it's like, man, you just ain't finna accept it like that. Like I can't believe, that y'all could just like all these things could be going on with a truck, that came from a dealership. But anyway, suffice to say, anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. But so it was just like stuff like that. So that that within itself, and then with a lot of other stuff added to it when you're coming in, when you're dealing with the shippers, the receivers now, because it's a business. You're dealing with agents, you're dealing with everything like that. You're dealing with new traffic, all kind of stuff. You got to figure it all out in the midst of not wanting to lose everything and just give it up like that. And then you're looking at other drivers who seem to be kind of flourishing, and things seem to be kind of still, moseying along for them. It's just kind of like, damn, but like, and you can't really flash out. Like you can't really just go to flashing on people. You can't really go into the shops and be like, man, you know what I mean? Like, I done already bought batteries. Now you talking about another battery, and I done already bought. You talking about this? I done did. You know what I mean? And I'm finna, you know what I'm saying? You just kind of like you hemorrhaging money. You feel me? So so it just seemed like, and you don't have again nobody to go to and be like, hey dad, or say brother, or say cuz, man, when this was happening or that was happening, man, how you dealt with it? Because none of them ever dealt with it. I'm the first one to really come out here with this. The first one. I haven't made a lot of like trucking friends. I know a few here or there, a few there, you know what I mean? But for whatever reason, I guess my personality is not one of the personalities that's like, like real welcoming. You know what I mean? Like I'm a real, like I said, when I said it before, I meant it. Like, where I come from, we really didn't really talk to a lot of people. We weren't really friendly like that. Like you met people, but it usually be people that you just knew already. You know what I mean? But it's not really like, when I grew up, we really wasn't really, we beef with niggas. You know what I'm saying? It was like it just really wasn't you just got friends from everywhere. Everybody just random friends like that. It's social media stuff that's kind of made it new for people just to kind of network and link. You know what I mean? But my personality naturally is not to really just reach out to different people and be like, hey man, let's work, let's network, let's meet up, let's talk. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It just I'm kind of more of I want to lay back and just pay attention and just watch what you're doing. And in some cases, watch you watching me. You feel me? So yeah, I'm gonna try to, because I feel like, content creating and something like, and stuff like that is something that I'm gonna have to do if I'm gonna be out here and survive. I'm gonna try to remember to not sound like every video is a complaint, or it's like I'm, you just have to keep in mind that, hey man, I'm a little older, and I'm, what I mean, I don't like to keep saying that, you know what I mean, because you're only as old as you feel, or whatever the case may be, and and I'm not that, again, personable like that, to just want to be always just kind of like, live and stuff like that. So it's gonna take me a little minute to just kind of, develop a little bit more of a personable, aura. You dig what I'm saying? It's gonna take a little minute for me to become that person, but we're gonna try to get it together, man. We're gonna try to look at some videos and copy some positives from certain videos, like the tripod thing. People walk around with the camera in their face, and it's kind of always seem to be in their face. I was walking around earlier when I got here. I had the phone in my hand, so I was trying to hold it in my hand, and I think that's why I cut off. And I had the phone backwards because I didn't want to be doing the when you're trying to upload a video, and when you got to reverse the camera, for some reason it seemed like it take longer for it to upload. Why, I don't know, but so that's why I just try to, like, right now record this video with the phone, with the camera, facing me. I don't see the screen right now, so I don't know that I could be doing all this talking and the phone could be off. It may not even be recording, you did. But if it is, like I said, yeah, it's not really about it's not really about complaining and stuff like that, man. It's just about, trying to get used to accepting certain things that, you used to wouldn't have had to accept. It's like the little Booster number, he had a reputation back in the game, back in the day for this, that, the third. But now when you get older, and now you're in your 40s, there's certain people that feel like they could play with Booster now. They could say things to him, Charleston Whites and stuff like that, talk about his kids and all kind of stuff. But you would have never did that to Booster, the 25-year-old Booster. But the 45-year-old Booster, you feel like I could play with him. You see what I'm saying? Oh, this nigga, he too commercial now. He got too much money. He ain't finna get up. He ain't got no crash house around him no more. And for the most part, that's what it is, because he already know where he going. To be a Stelly again with C Murder, the dude ain't trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't trying to go back that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's most of us as adults. That most of the adults, especially when you got like a street background, you know what it is, man. He's trying to go lay up in the penitentiary around on men. I can't really, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like you gotta just really just have some real anger management. Like, this is real anger management. You have to really just take deep breaths and just really just look at people like, I know you pussy. Like, I really know that, that you really just, if I bat the piss out you or something, you gonna call the police. Like, I'm going to jail. Like, if I just, you're not even provoking me because you really about that. Like, you really want some action. You really provoking me to try to, like, trick me out of my position, to make me crash out, do something, or go to jail, or get killed. Because I'm not iron chest sharp. We human. We flesh. You know what I mean? So it's basically a lose-lose. Any negative reaction that comes from me, I lose. So you have to be able to find power and strength in knowing that you not responding. You have to be able to flip it. Me not reacting and responding to you is actually the victory. You actually win that way. Because any other thing you do, you lose. Like, and they win. So you have to just kind of, try to find out how to be able to be positive, even though you're dealing with BS. You dig what I'm saying? So right now, man, this video probably too long. It's probably about gonna be at this point 30 minutes. I'm gonna just do a quick, circle of the block right quick. This was the second half of my yesterday video where I was picking up in Houston, Texas, and I was delivering to where I am now. I could have waited and put this part of the video, in that video, but I just wanted to go ahead and drop a video. So got up this morning, drove on here to where I am now, and this when I started the video at the receiver. You did, in Dallas. It was a quick load, where I said it paid pretty good. Been going up but a couple hundred miles. I already have another load already that's scheduled for me to go pick it up today or tomorrow. It deliver back towards his house, back towards, Louisiana. We're in Louisiana. It's a 2-stop load, preloaded, already somewhere sitting loaded, waiting on me just to come pick it up. No hurry, no rush. And so yeah, this is how we gonna go ahead and end the video, man. I'm sitting there posted up. I'm gonna go ahead and try to edit this video a little bit, and might just go ahead and put it out. I mean, why not? You get what I'm saying? And I may start the next video and then take a little time with that video. The next video, I may start it by, going to the place where I'm going to pick up the preloaded trailer at, and then do some, recording en route towards the receivers, and then do some, shoot the receiver, shoot both stops, and then, so I can do one video like that, one pickup, and then, all right. So until next time, man, y'all, be easy and stay dangerous.